Welcome to week 8 of the Cozy Ugly collection. Today we're drawing a cozy ugly candle for the table. Something small, warm, imperfect, and alive. If you're interested in drawing this with me, please keep watching. I'm starting with my non-dominant hand again, and immediately I can feel how much less control I have. The lines wobble, the shape leans, nothing is perfectly even. And that's becoming one of my favorite parts of this series. Because when I use my dominant hand, I can feel how quickly my brain wants to fix everything. Straighten it, correct it, make it look better. But with the non-dominant hand, the body slows down enough that perfection becomes harder to chase. And sometimes that creates a little more room to simply experience. So I'm sketching the candle shape first. A small jar. Maybe too wide at the top, maybe a little crooked, maybe not symmetrical at all. And then I'm adding the flame on top. Just a tiny little flame, nothing fancy. Now I'm softening the pencil lines with an eraser before adding color. I'm using yellow and orange color pencils for the flame and the wax underneath. And it's okay if this part feels scribbly or messy because we're going to blend it with water later anyway. I think candles are interesting emotionally because they're gentle, not overwhelming, not demanding. A candle doesn't force you to transform overnight. It just stays present. And I think a lot of nervous systems actually need experiences like that. Not intensity, not optimization, not fixing yourself. Just small warmth, small steadiness, small moments that say, you can soften a little now. Now I'm taking a brown watercolor pencil to outline the shape of the candle jar. I think a lot of us are trying to become floodlights. Productive all the time, bright all the time, useful all the time, available all the time. But a candle is different. A candle only lights a small space. And somehow that still feels comforting. Sometimes healing is not a huge breakthrough. Sometimes it's drinking tea, slowing your breathing, scribbling with colored pencils, lighting a candle, or sitting beside yourself differently for 5 minutes. Tiny rituals can be more regulating than we give them credit for. Now I'm picking up the orange colored pencil again and coloring the rim of the jar to add a little warmth and light. As you color this in, notice what happens in your body when you loosen pressure a little. Notice if your shoulders soften. Notice if your jaw unclenches. Notice if you start rushing. Notice if another part of you gets frustrated, embarrassed, or impatient. That awareness matters too. You can now pick up a brown color pencil to fill in the rest of the jar. I think there's something very freeing about intentionally allowing awkwardness into the page, because so much of adulthood becomes performance. Trying to say the right thing, look composed, be emotionally organized, be efficient, be desirable, be accomplished. And then suddenly you sit down with watercolor pencils and draw a weird little candle with your non-dominant hand. And the nervous system gets to experience something different. Not performing, not optimizing, just existing creatively for a moment. Now, as you can already tell, I switched to a small wet brush and I started to blend the colors with water. Here, the goal isn't to force relaxation. It's learning how to notice ourselves while we're having an experience. And for many people, especially people who overfunction or stay busy all the time, slowing down can actually feel uncomfortable at first. Because underneath constant movement, there can be exhaustion. sadness, longing, pressure, fear of falling behind, or the feeling that if you stop, everything will catch up to you. So if you notice resistance during this practice, that's okay too. The goal isn't to become the calmest person alive. The goal is simply making a little more room for yourself. And because this is the Cozy Ugly collection, I encourage you to make your candle imperfect. Maybe the wax is uneven. The candle is lumpy. The flame is gigantic compared to the candle. Maybe the jar looks like it's leaning to one side. And that's okay. And as you can see, I'm adding more brown with my water-soluble crayon. I like imagining this candle sitting on the Cozy Ugly table beside the fruit bowl, the flowers, the mug, and all the other imperfect little objects we've made together so far. It's becoming this collection of evidence. Evidence that we showed up, evidence that creativity does not need perfection to exist, evidence that tiny moments still matter. I think there is something deeply emotional about returning to a table like this every week. Not because the drawings are extraordinary, but because you returned. You made space again. Even if life was messy, even if your energy was low. Now, I'm adding the word cozy to the candle label. What word would you write for yourself? Rest, soften, enough, breathe, home. Whatever comes to mind first, trust that. I think candles remind me that softness is still powerful. A candle doesn't demand attention. It simply offers warmth. And people naturally move towards it. You don't have to become more productive, more polished, or more perfect to deserve care. You don't have to earn rest. You don't have to prove your worth. Your nervous system deserves gentleness now. Even unfinished, even messy, even tired. You can stop here if you want to, but if you're adding this to your Cozy Ugly table, you can cut it out. And now we're ready to add a Cozy Ugly candle to the table. I think it belongs there perfectly. A small reminder that you don't have to shine brightly all the time. Sometimes a little warmth is enough. If you're following along, I'd love to know what word you put on your candle. Keep it cozy, keep it ugly. I'll see you next week.